Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today for March the 19th, 2019. It is at current 5:07 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's run through what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to kick things off with the pre-market activity of what is going on in the markets. We'll talk about currencies, stock indexes, and some commodities. And then we're going to segue into some watch stocks and member stock chart requests, which is where I review the symbols that our gold members submit for me to review. And then we're going to talk a bit about Bitcoin, and we'll probably come back to the 4-hour chart. But first, I want to talk about the higher level view, the monthly view, to get that higher level view of how Bitcoin is looking. So let's kick things off with the pre-market activity. We'll begin with the US dollar, which I tend to like to do. And since my last swing trading today and best stock charts, we are seeing weakness. And I'm going to post a link at the end of this video to last weekend's best stock charts, as well as swing trading today from the 15th at the end of this video. So the dollar this morning is weak. We did overnight put in a new weekly low. This last bar here, we did recover. This bar just opened up literally 9 minutes ago. So again, 4-hour chart, a lot can happen between now and the time that this bar closes out, but we are seeing pressure on the US dollar. We broke down below critical support last week. RSI has confirmed the breakdown. We are putting in lower highs and lower lows on RSI. So we are losing momentum on the US dollar. And after talking about the dollar, I like to take a look at commodities because they usually tend to trade inversely of the US dollar. So kicking things off with crude oil prices, crude oil is up today. They are showing signs of a breakout. We are looking to buy some crude ETFs. You could use a leveraged ETF, the UWT, or the USO, one of the two. It all depends upon your volatility appetite. You can see clearly we have higher lows, and what we're looking for is a continuation move higher out of this base, and I think that we're going to get it. So oil on the move this morning. Gold. Gold has been a bit lethargic of late. This 1310 level continues to act as stiff resistance. We are up this morning on gold. We are long of the gold miners. We're looking to add to the gold miners, but I have some concerns with regard to the price action on a daily basis of the gold miners. This is a longer term play, and I am willing to give it some room, but we have a big profit in the gold miners, and we want to lock that in if we begin to see the sector begin to break down. So we're watching gold very closely. Ideally, we get a breakout in the close above the 1310 level. And if we rally up and through 1311.6, well, then it's game on for gold. But as it stands right now, if you have the stock market, which is strong, people want to own Google and Amazon. They don't want to own gold. So it's not a matter of the fundamentals for owning gold being poor. It's just that it's not sexy. So we're looking past that. We're taking a look at the macroeconomic picture, and it is not pretty. So members, more to come on gold. Let's take a look at natural gas. I spoke about natural gas on the 15th on Swing Trading Today. Again, I'll link to it at the end of this video. And we are seeing a breakout here begin to set up. You have a cup with a now downward sloping handle, which is formed, and we have a breakout of a cup with handle formation on a 4-hour chart. So it appears as though natural gas is going to move higher. We are up slightly this morning, so we are bullish on natural gas. You could look to buy the UNG Or if you want volatility, the UGAZ. Let's take a look at the stock market futures. The S&P 500 pushing higher this morning by about a quarter percentage point. We have broken out on RSI, so it's confirming the move higher. We have new weekly highs on the S&P 500, so that is bullish. The NASDAQ, it is pressing higher this morning, nearly a quarter percentage point. When last we spoke, we were breaking out of this bull flag setup. And we have a breakout on RSI confirming the move higher on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ looking strong this morning. Let's take a quick look at the bond market. The 10-year bond is up this morning, but it's coming under a little bit of weakness right now. It's attempting a breakout above this resistance level in green, but it is being rejected. It was rejected the last bar, this bar. Let's keep an eye on the 10-year bond. We are seeing RSI begin to weaken up here a little bit. We're putting in lower highs. No lower lows yet, but let's just watch RSI. It may be sending us a signal, but nothing to act on yet. So a warning flag on the track with regard to the bond market. Okay, now let's segue over and into our member stock chart requests, as well as some watch stocks that we're looking to put trades on. Let's kick things off with Intuit, INTU, the symbol. We're just going to go over a daily chart here because the daily chart tells us a story in that we are at resistance. And I cannot buy the shares while we're at resistance. I could buy them at a higher price above resistance on a closing basis, or I can buy them on a pullback, one of the two. Now, I will warn that we are seeing lower highs on RSI and on the Stokes. Volume of late has been pretty good to the upside. Lower highs on Ultimate Oscillator, but all of these, you have Ultimate Oscillator, Stokes, and RSI, which up until yesterday had been rising. So the trend is right. You just don't want to see them roll over and begin to put in new lower lows. Now, what I will caution here is when you take a look at MACD, you could see that almost a head fake setup, meaning technical traders wait for the fast line to cross above the slow line. It's balking there. It's stalled out. That did not occur. And it appears as though this positive convergence is going to fail. Now, we've had a heck of a run off of the December lows. I think what is warranted here is for these shares to take a rest, and then we could look to enter a trade on an orderly pullback and ideally a retest of one or two of these identified support levels. So INTU is a watch. Aurora Cannabis, one of the two weed stocks that we're going to be going over today. Weekly chart, we have a new weekly high, so a good week. We always want to see a new weekly high on a stock that you are thinking about buying. That's good stuff. We broke out back here the week of March the 4th, a continuation move higher last week, and again this week, daily chart. Now, on a daily basis, we're a bit extended. We're nearing resistance at the 1050 level. We can't in good conscience go buying there. Might we just skyrocket through? Sure. But our discipline is to buy in a disciplined manner, meaning buy on a breakout or buy on a pullback. The indicators still look good. RSI and stochastics are rising. Volume outstanding. Just really, really great volume here. This is institutional demand. And that's long-term money that is going to underpin the price of these shares. So remember the price levels at which you saw these volume bars come in. Because when we pull back to these support levels in the future, you know that you're going to have buyers out there bidding up the shares. So ACB, interesting. A bit extended, nearing resistance. I can't buy it just yet. It remains a watch. Zoetis ZTS weekly chart. Love the chart. It ran into a bit of trouble back here the week of March the 4th. It had broken out and then reversed, an outside reversal week. The following week, excellent price action. We reversed to recapture support. And this following week, we are now breaking out to new weekly highs. I like the Stokes. We're flattening out. I think they'll probably hook up. We're stair-stepping higher on RSI. And we're right at a weekly high. So the weekly chart looks positive. It looks like we have a continuation breakout on our hands. Daily chart. Okay, so what we're doing here on a daily basis is that we're going to retest that 97.95 level where we were rejected on March the 4th. So the question now becomes, do we break out or do we break down? I think odds favor bulls here. We're looking for a breakout on RSI, which may precede a breakout on price. If we get a pullback, we're looking at a pullback to, at a minimum here, 95.59, or to this rising lower band of support. Volume yesterday, it dropped off. You had really good volume last Friday, but I would have liked to have seen volume on Monday meet or exceed Friday's volume. So that's a slight concern, but the path of least resistance here appears to be to the upside for ZTS. First Solar, daily chart. Now, oil is pressing higher. First Solar trades with oil. The dollar was weak yesterday, which helped buoy the price of oil. And, of course, First Solar followed suit. Now, what you're seeing here on this daily chart is a nice wedge formation forming. We had a bullish key reversal off of support yesterday, an inside day, no new high, no new low. We're looking for a breakout. Stokes flattening out. I think they're going to break out higher. RSI consolidating. I think we're going to break out here on First Solar. So members, if and when we decide to pull the trigger on this trade, I will be sending out one of our Rebel Trade Alerts, either to your SMS email notification or push notification. You decide in your profile how you want to be communicated with. Just go to the dashboard, My Notifications tab. AutoNation. I spoke about AutoNation on Best Stock Charts and the week ahead commentary. I mentioned that we were at a pivotal point. We had closed out the week right at support, and that a follow-through move to the downside would be detrimental to the shares, and that we would probably see program selling of AutoNation. Now, this week, what we have is an inside week so far. We gapped up higher to recapture support. Weekly Stokes still look weak. RSI, weekly basis, looking improved. We're hooking up, but the week is still early yet. We have 4 trading days left to go. Daily chart. All right, now on a daily basis, we have a double bottom setup formed on RSI. We're looking for a breakout above the March 11th high on RSI, and that would fulfill that W formation. Stokes are beginning to hook up. So we're seeing signs of life here on AutoNation. No breakout yet on price. Volume action on Monday was very, very good. So we'll keep an eye on AutoNation. I'll be looking for a breakout on price, a retest of support, and maybe we'll look to get long for a swing trade only, not as a core position. And again, I will send out a Rebel Trade Alert. LABU, another ETF I spoke about over the weekend. We were looking for a retest of support. Guess what? We got it. We did so yesterday. We held it. We were higher. We closed off the highs of the day. So what I would like to see, let's go to a daily chart. What I would like to see here is a close above $63 per share. We're really struggling on a daily basis to break out of this congestion area. Volume yesterday was very good, but with that kind of volume, we didn't even close up a percentage point, and we closed off the highs of the day. So I'm a little bit concerned about some overhead supply up here. Buyers back here and back here, they want their money back. Canopy growth, daily chart. All right, so the daily chart is really nothing to speak about. We have tight consolidations on RSI and Stokes, and frankly, they're not looking that healthy. I mean, Stokes, lower highs. We're threatening to take out the lows of this support level here. We're bouncing off the lower band of support on price. Lethargic price action. No reason to go jumping in and buying your intended allotment in one shot today. But here's the whatever. The whatever is I'm looking at the higher level view, and that's the monthly chart. And you could see that we had a beautiful rally in January. We've been consolidating gains for the past couple of months. We are in a tightening wedge formation. I think that any visit down to the $42 per share level provides a buying opportunity. And we're going to formulate a strategy of building a position while inside of this trading range on a monthly basis, and then completing our purchase of Canopy growth on a confirmation breakout of this triangle formation. Because when that occurs, and I'm confident that it will, when that occurs, it is going to be a big rally, a multi-week rally on Canopy growth. So looking really, really good here from that higher level view. Try to get away, if you're a newcomer to the stock market, try to get away from just looking at daily charts. They're too noisy. To me, they're just as noisy as a 2-hour chart. And frankly, the 2-hour chart is looking pretty good. A lot of consolidation going on here. But it's noisy. Again, for that higher level of perspective, you want to make big money? You want to think big. Look at your monthly charts. What's the trend? Just because I'm a contrarian does not mean that I want to go betting against the trend. That's for suckers. That's not what real contrarians do. They have an edge. They know their edge. There is no edge to trade the opposite direction of the macro trend on Canopy growth. The path of least resistance is to the upside. It remains to the upside. Buy the shares. Enjoy the ride. We're going to leave things off with Bitcoin. And I'm going to go back to the 4-hour chart in a moment to talk about the pre-market activity. But what I really want to begin with here is a discussion regarding the monthly chart. Now, the monthly chart, it's obvious that we have been in a bear market for all of 2018, and we remain in a bear market. However, we are seeing signs of life here on Bitcoin, and I now own it. I only bought it a few weeks ago as I saw some opportunity. And you can see using this secondary resistance level. This is your primary. Here, we'll make it solid as I usually do. All right, that's your primary resistance level. Here's your secondary, very short term. And so far in the month of March, we have broken out above that level. I think we're coming up here. And as a matter of fact, here's what I had to say a couple of weeks ago with regard to Bitcoin. Let's move on. Let's talk about Bitcoin, and then we'll talk about the stock market futures. I bought Bitcoin during my hiatus from doing swing trading today, and we're about flat with it. It's been a nice consolidation here, and I think that we're going to break out fairly soon. You can see that we are sitting in this wedge formation. We've been in this wedge formation since mid-February. It's a long-term consolidation on a 4-hour chart now. We're getting higher lows and now higher highs on RSI. I think we're breaking out fairly soon. Could be today, could be next week, but fairly soon we should see a breakout on Bitcoin. Members, we'll talk about the daily and weekly chart of Bitcoin on the week ahead commentary, so stay tuned up here. So I think that within the next couple of weeks or so, we're heading up here to retest this upper band of resistance. And once we close above, say, 4,200 on Bitcoin, we could rally up to, I think we could rally up to 58.83 on Bitcoin. We'll call that price target number 1, because that's where you're going to have a lot of resistance on Bitcoin. So we're fairly bullish on it in the short term. Now let's go back to the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. We'll fast forward here a little bit. We were talking about Bitcoin last on the 4-hour chart back here. And here we have our breakout. We hit the 4,000 level for the first time yesterday since January. Now we are down slightly this morning, and I would be fine if we pulled all the way back down to here and did a retest of the support level. If it holds, that sets the stage for a continuation move higher for Bitcoin. We have RSI behaving very well. At current, it is consolidating on a 4-hour basis. A bit of a bull flag setup forming here, and that is a continuation breakout pattern. And we're looking for a rally up and through this upper band of resistance. And if we get it, if we get a continuation move higher, there isn't much in terms of resistance above, all the way up to a 5,000 handle. So Bitcoin looking very, very strong on this breakout on a 4-hour basis. We know how it looks on a monthly basis. So the month is drawing to a close. Only a few trading days left to go. Let's watch the final few days of price action. Because if we close out the month where we closed yesterday or higher, it's a very bullish setup for Bitcoin moving forward. And that is it for this morning, folks. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. Leave a comment below. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I'll talk to you soon.